And my guest is right here in studio now, one of them at least, and Brighton Umhlongo Unjomane Pepe.
Malume.
Uyaphila mfowethu?
Ngiyaphila njani?
Hayi no, uyangibona ngimnyama ungabuza ibhasi phali.
Hayi malume ukuthi nje nami phela njengomshana ngibuye ngithuke ngiqhaqhazele bengihleli nawe, but greetings to your listeners as well, and thank you so much for this great opportunity. It's always an absolute pleasure, and happy birthday kusalikazi uma wasilethela nje a man of this stature, so sithi happy birthday ngisho nalabo engizalana nabo futhi ke umfowethu ke happy birthday nakuyena futhi.
Siyababongela bonke Njomane Yellowbone, siyakwamukela, feel at home. Here at Power Sport Extra, Usislehle make sure that every guest that we have feels at home indeed and sounds very good. So hit us up on Twitter on Power FM 987. My handle is at BBK Unplugged 99. And Njomane, before we start, there's been people who have been warming up. I just need you to give us a preamble of what you expect this coming 2025-26 season to carry for us.
Top scribe, those big English words. Look, I think the season, it was a very successful launch midweek. Looking forward to a crack, I must say, because one thing for sure, Lento Isegazin and the Sienzela, our true custodians of the game, which is the fans, and we've seen them last season. They came in numbers in the stadium, and I think that alone has served as a huge motivation to the players, because what translates from the fans in terms of cheering them to the on the pitch, you can see with the players now, they've come in to showcase their talent and become very much expressive. So I'm looking forward to a great season ahead.
Let's make this circle bigger. Let's go to the lines and let's go to Rudeport. And we welcome Upegi, who wants to tell us all the best for the Betway Premiership season for the clubs as they prepare to kick the very first ball in Enga. Mapiza Matala, good evening and welcome to Power Sport Extra with BBK.
Good evening, James. How are you?
Black and proud, Matala.
You know, BBK, there's no contest for the league as far as the league is concerned, rather. You know, Sundowns is going to take it again. You know, I was thinking that maybe we need a financial fair play, but also I'm thinking that it will be unfair on Sundowns, because Sundowns, basically, they build their squad based on the strength of the African African country clubs, you know, such as your Al Ahly and all these North African countries, and those countries, and the teams in those countries, their squads are very, very big, and they're very, very strong, and they pay, you know. So if you are going to introduce a financial fair play so that, for example, Amstel Lager Pirates can win the league.
What did you just call them?
I'm still Laga Pirate.
What about them, Mapiza?
No, they can only come second, you know, and even that is not guaranteed, you know.
I take it that you are a Sundowns fan.
No, I fall under those modest supporters who say their team must just root for top 8. You know us, the Zebras. I'm those.
The ones who are number 1 in the top 9.
Others call us Zebras. You know?
But Mapisa, how can you give up before the ball is even kicked? You just giving it to Sundowns. You mean to tell me that you don't see Kaiser Chiefs, your team, standing a chance at all?
No, we are not signing good players, BBK, and also, if you look at our goalkeepers, they're not up to standard. I mean, big teams are won by goalkeepers, you know, and if you don't take that part serious, then you are not taking the whole team very serious, you know.
Sure. So where is your team going to finish this season? You already told us that Sundowns will win it.
We'll definitely go top 8, which will be a big achievement for us. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for coming through, Matala. Enjoy the weekend, right?
Thanks, BBK.
And don't forget to treat the ladies in your life well tomorrow. It's Women's Day.
Will do. Thanks, BBK.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Brighton?
Yes, sir.
What do you say? Peggy is giving up, is throwing in the towel before even Chiefs takes to the field against the Stellenbosch on Sunday.
Look, Maluma, I think one thing that I can credit Ubegi is the transparency in terms of him, not being sure of how, they're gonna fare out, because sometimes it's always important, to be reasonable within your means and think by making sure that you start all over again, to build that squad. And I think they've done a tremendous work. They've done a tremendous job by finishing the season with a trophy, ending that drought. And that alone, it instills some form of confidence
inspires
within the
hope.
It really does, And pre-season, I know that a lot of people started judging in terms of how things went in Netherlands, but there were positive signs. You could see now the Kaizer Chiefs started having, team cohesion, playing patterns as well. They looked very confident to say they're coming in this season with so much confidence, with so much oomph to build on from what they've been working on last season. And if you're going to have a new coach and start winning a trophy within their maiden season, that alone should serve as an inspiration to say that there's something good that you're working on. So all you can do is get better from that. And I see something good coming out from Naturena.
Well, the English that you say I speak says the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Our second guest is in the house. He's just joined us, the veteran scribe from the Times Live and the Sunday Times, my younger brother and colleague, Mahlatsi Mpatlele. Good evening and welcome to Power Sport Extra, Madala.
Good evening, baby. Good evening, Latin.
Mahlatsi.
To the producer. Thank you for having me. It's my debut.
Yes.
Brato, no, first touch is important.
I was shaking. I was found shaking. I was saying, hey, sitting with the experienced Malume BBK, and then now you walk in. I know. I was found.
Let's
shaking.
give you a chance to breathe. Let's go back to the lines and welcome Usefudi in Randfontein. Grootman, good evening and welcome to Power Sport Extra.
Good evening to you, gentlemen. How are you?
We are great, and we can feel that you are top of your game yourself.
Man, you were so comprehensive this morning, man. This evening, I don't have to go and read the paper for tomorrow. You know?
No, you still have to buy the Sunday Times, Grootman. There's no way my children will
he's out of
starve.
Yes, for tomorrow, my man. For
Mahlatsi
tomorrow.
and I won't have a job, man, if you don't read. Come on now.
My brother, let the game begin.
Mm-hmm.
And on Boko, I say a star is born.
Yes, sir.
But I'll tell you, the focus is on Nabi now, my coach.
Mm-hmm.
There's no turning back. Remember, he came with a certain measure
Expectation.
of reputation, my man.
Yes.
Now, there's no turning back. But I saw some nuggets of hope and brilliance in our game against Kotoko.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue is the responsibility when it coming to taking free kicks,
Yes.
Yeah, the free kicks can be crucial in tight moments, and I think we ought to strengthen there. I've got hope. There is consistency. Sometimes you may sign, but you still have to build. The guy has to settle. I think majority, the major part of the squad is settled now, and there is no excuse. And I say, let the game begin. All the hope for Kosi. Good evening to you and to Sundowns. It's not going to be business as usual.
Before you go,
to you, my friend.
Before you go, you're talking about Nabi, but your club released a statement today saying that he's not going to be traveling with the team to Cape Town because he's going home. Because apparently his wife is not well. There was an accident or something like that. Is he coming back?
I think he's coming back, and even if he's gone for a couple of days, the genetics have been left. He had left his footsteps, and it cannot be excused that he has left. He's having an assistant coach. They share much in common. Good evening to you guys.
Let the games begin. Good evening, Brasifudi. Thank you very much for coming through. Let us now go to Pastor Tays, guys. This guy is Kimuruti. All your sins, you have to repent before he takes the platform. Pastor Tays, good evening and welcome to Power Sport Extra. Give us a prayer, Madala.
Hey, BBK. How's it, guys?
All good.
We're good, man. Yourself?
Great, man. No, I'm doing very well. I think Becky should go and read the book of Job, that there is still hope.
You see,
Now, I'm
I
not saying
told
there
you.
is still hope. I'm simply saying Chiefs is the only team that comprises with what God has, love and peace. And this game has started. Sundowns is not going to see it because they always say the sky is the limit. We don't live by the sky. We're going to go beyond the sky. Let the games begin. We are ready for them. And this time, we're going to do very well.
Does your team need divine intervention, Pastor?
We've already given to them. They are ready. They can just start tomorrow. We have prayed and ready for them. Let them go and do it in the field.
Matlatsi, what say you to what Pastor is saying?
Yeah, well, you can see already he's asking for divine intervention. He knows very well that it's not going to be an easy season for them. I think, in all honesty, on paper at least, when you look at how the so-called top teams have stepped themselves up.
In terms of the signings, you
In
mean?
terms of the signings, yeah, I think necessarily you can't put Chiefs there as a title contender. They still have got a long way to go in terms of matching up to where Sundowns are, where Pirates are. And also, they will have a little bit of a distraction in terms of the Comfort Cup, where they are playing by virtue of having won the Nedbank Cup. So, they pretty much remain a work in progress. I think they will get there. They've done some good business on the transfer market, which is important. It's always good for the coach to be consulted when you bring in players. They've done that. I think some of the guys that are there will go a long way in trying to improve this squad. But if you ask me now, even before an official ball is kicked as to whether they will be in the serious discussions at the end of the season, I just don't think so. It's a
Pastor
team
Pace.
that still needs a lot of work.
BBK.
Matlatsi says your club is on a wing and a prayer.
I support you with that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very
and
much,
blessed
man.
day for the women tomorrow.
Please do pray for them as well, and pray for the gents who tends to raise their hands on our ladies to stop doing that.
Indeed.
Let's go to Pretoria now. Go to Ane. We find... Who's there? Pastor Jonas.
Yes.
It's becoming a pulpit now, eh?
Now the synod that is on now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which book are we reading?
Look, now we're in the synod. Let me help you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, blessed to the women tomorrow and the whole weekend. Last year, if we were to ask Matlad at this time if she was going to win a league, win a cup, she would have said no.
Pastor, I'm going to ask you to turn around a little bit because your line is not quite clear. We need
Can
to
you
hear
hear me
this.
now?
We need to hear your sermon to Matlati clearly.
Can you hear me now?
Much better, much clearer.
I'm saying if we were to ask Matlad last year this time if Chiefs was going to get at least one cup, she would have said no. Number one. Number two, last year, Sundowns participated in at least 4+1 domestic cups.
Yeah.
And they won only one. I don't know whether that in your book is clean sweep, but in my book, it's not clean sweep because Pirates got a cup. We've got a cup. Even Magezi has got a cup. So that to me is totally, it's not dominance. It's actually 10%.
Right.
What we were supposed to take.
Right.
For guys, standard is not dominant.
Unfortunately, that line is giving us that problem again. Brighton, Matlati has already said that he does not see Chiefs being part of the conversation. But there is a small matter of the club that Kaizer Chiefs are going to be playing against. And I'm talking here about Stellenbosch United. Stellenbosch FC, rather. When I look at Stellis, they've been putting themselves as a formidable foe, guys, in terms of competing, in terms of chasing, running the race to chase the second position against Pirates, and running the race to make sure they cement themselves as the number 3 slot so that they can continuously participate in the Confed Cup. But I see a Stellis that is taking the shape of a SuperSport United in that season in, season out, all their best players are leaving the club. Do you think that this season there's no Jaden Adams, there's no Ikram Reyners, there's no Fawaz Pasadine. Long you've seen what happened with Ashley Dupree, Esbongsen Mteto as well, Zita Guniga. When you look at Stellies now, do you think Steve Barker and what's his name, Ubans, can inspire the club to maintain the high level that they've shown in the past couple of seasons?
Malume, I totally believe that they do have all the capacity to do that. And the reason why I say that is because, one, Stellies, personally, I regard them as one of the title contenders because ever since they survived relegation a couple of seasons back, they really went back to the drawing board and made sure that they fix what needed to be fixed. And when I say what needed to be fixed was now creating that buffer between the development to the first team. So with Coach Steve Barker working hand in hand with Coach Evangelos, from the DDC as well. So and he serves also as a second assistant, if I'm not mistaken,
of the first team.
The first team. So now what you see in terms of the difference in what they have been doing is making sure that they prepare the players before the replacement, before they can sell the player. You're talking about Fawaz Pasadine, already Omega Mtaga, who's a Kaizer Chiefs product, youth product. He started playing competitive football already last season in the PSL and also in CAF competition. He was getting a bit of minutes, meaning they knew already what was happening. And then with Ndule, they knew already when they brought in the likes of Barnes, and then with your Ikram Reyners, they knew already when they promoted the likes of Abrahams as well. And we know that not so long ago, there were rumors about Titus, but already you can see that there's Langelihle Pili there. There's also one of the young players whom was leading goal scorer in the MFC, which is Umuzo Mohlekani, who has also made his debut.
Who scored the winning goal against Amazulu in extra time.
So these are the players that when you look at them, you can tell that there's always a smooth transition of players who understand the philosophy of the team, of what Coach Steve Barker is looking for. And I love the mentality of him saying no one is bigger than the brand. It's always about even him. He's not bigger than the brand. All he had to do was to create the template for the team, and now all the coaches or whoever that's going to come in already understands what it means to represent that team. So for me, they are a force to be reckoned with.
Mahlatsi, as Brighton is speaking, you are nodding furiously. I was worried that your head was going to fall off. Are you saying what he's saying? Because for me, the danger here is that this happened a lot with Super Sports. All their best players doing the cross town, going to the rivals, Mamelodi Sundowns, and look at where we are now. I'm not saying that Stellenbosch are going to lose the man. They come from what you call the white monopoly capital, but you are furiously agreeing to what Brighton is saying.
No, I agree with Brighton. I think the difference here with Stellenbosch and SuperSport would be Stellenbosch would make money out of these players and invest it back into the club. It was not the same thing that was happening at SuperSport for the last 4 years.
Right.
They've sold, I think, give and take, SuperSport must have made more than 100 million from Sundowns over the last while. They didn't put that money back into the club. And also, one thing that tends to be a bit of a problem for the so-called big teams, I don't think sometimes when these guys sign players, they actually go for the players that can play for the club. Sometimes you see Pirates signing a player and you ask yourself, is this guy a Pirates player? Chiefs signing a player, you say, is this guy a Chiefs player? Sundowns signing a player, you say, is this guy Sundowns? So Sundowns, to a large extent, they do get right most of the times. There's been a few misfits with these South Americans who come here. You don't know what they're doing here. But generally, Stellenbosch know their player. They go for guys that they know that this guy will fit into the system. Steve Barker is pretty much in control of the transfers there. I was saying to somebody this week that Chiefs, Sundowns, Pirates must start preparing 20 million to buy that Mzumuhle boy from Hungry Lions. He's a top player who is going to go far in terms of scoring goals. And he's a very, very good striker.
He's a very hungry young lion indeed as well. And let's go back to the lines. And Ugivin is there from Pretoria, and he wants to tell us that he agrees with Mahlatsi about what? Givin Makiba, welcome to Power Sports Extra with BBK. Why are you agreeing with Mahlatsi? What are you agreeing with him on? The gents are in the studio, they are listening. Yes, sir.
How are you, BBK? And
Black and proud. Black and proud. Brighton is yellow and proud. Matlati is mid coffee and proud. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm yellow. I'm yellow and proud.
All right. What's your thought,
Yellow and
Matala?
proud. Now, I don't think Kaizer Chiefs is. I agree with. I don't think they in this season they will still part of the conversation. In terms of how their new signings have blended in the teams. I've watched the friendly games. I don't think there's a blend there. And then in terms of them winning the Nedbank Cup, I would always go to the words of Coach Peter.
Yeah.
Now you cannot compare cup games with league games. A league is a very long marathon, and I know that Sundowns dominated the league exceptionally well. So they proved that they are a team that is willing to win. So that's why I agree with Mahlat.
But given, what if I put it to you that sport, and particularly football, things work in cycles. There is a period of dominance when you see your Liverpool dominating in the 80s and you see a Manchester. Sir Alex Ferguson famously saying that his business was to take Liverpool off their perch. There are things I can't say on air. Then you see Arsenal taking over that race between Wenger and Ferguson, won by Wenger, and then time to time for Chelsea now and again, and then Man City, and then Liverpool. Do you think that Sundowns this one is going to be permanent?
Yeah, so far I think this season they're going to dominate. Now looking at the structure, like they have not changed much. They have not made so many signings to hamper with the domination that they had last season.
Yeah.
So the dominance most of the time fails when there's too many changes. When you change something that was working.
When you fix something that is not broken.
Yes.
Since your name is given, please give love and respect to the women tomorrow on their Women's Day, Matala, and enjoy your weekend. It is 8 minutes before the hour of 7. Welcome back indeed to Power Sport Extra with myself, Baringba to Gorgeous BBK, and I'm joined in studio by my two beloved brothers, Matlat Simpatlele, the veteran scribe from Palm Times Live as well as Sunday Times, and Utlel Nopepe, Unjomane, Uyelopon, Brighton, Wagamhlongo. We are chewing card with you. We want you to tell us what you think your teams are going to be doing, and the line for you to call us on our studio, it is 0861 987 000 on Twitter, Power FM 987 or BBK Unplugged 99, because the countdown to the start of this 2025 Betway Premiership season is indeed on, and one more sleep and it will be Saturday, a day that will signal the game of billions, the beautiful games, soccer, football, itiski, ingamu, ibola likanobhutshuzwayo, whatever you choose to call it, is going to be back with a bang. And with that, let's go back to the lines with a bang. And Utumelo, all the way from Brits, has got something to say about Orbit College. Tumza Madala, good evening and welcome to Power Sport Extra.
Good evening, BBK and your guest.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm calling from Brits.
Tumelo, I don't want this call to drop. Please try and Bambi angle so that we can hear you crystal clear, Madala. Let's try again.
Oh, okay, can you hear me now?
Gents, is it better?
A bit better, thanks.
Let's go.
Okay. I'm coming from the Northwest. I would wish for Orbit College Football Club to remain in the league, to do well and come the end of the season to be one of the 6 teams that would be remaining in the league. It has been quite some time in our province without a professional soccer club following the demise of
Platinum Stars, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm hoping Ohiso and the assistant coach KB and the rest of the technical team, they will do well this coming season and forever hold our hopes of the people of the football community of the Northwest to have a team in our province. As for the team that have been supporting for over 30 years, I'm a coach. I agree with the first caller. The good achievements to be in the top 8.
Why are you guys giving up on your team? You say it's love and peace. You're not giving it love. You are not being peaceful about your prospects in the league.
Remember the past So this is the free kick.
Tumelo, that line again wants to disappoint you. Let's try one more time. I think we've lost the Tumelo there on that line. Everyone is giving up on Chiefs, Mahlatsi.
Yeah, well, it's a difficult thing. But hardcore fans must remember, you stay with your club. You don't change.
Yeah.
No matter,
they say you can change your wife, you can change your cars, you can change your jobs, but you never change your football
you
club.
Stick with your club, yeah. But I mean, some to a large extent, you can say maybe I don't want to say understandable, but the club has gone through a very, very difficult time. People have been patient, and things are just not happening. Even as we sit now before the start of the season, the focus is on Pirates, it's on Sundowns, it's on Stellenbosch, and it's on Skukune.
Yeah.
They are nowhere. Obviously, anything can happen in the season, but on the balance of probabilities with what we know, you know that Pirates will be strong. You know that Sundowns will be strong. You just don't see if Chiefs can push to force their way into number 2 and qualify for the Champions League again. Because ultimately, for a big club like them, that's where they want to. They sort of want to get to. It's a work in progress. They should continue working. The coach has been retained, which is very good for them, I guess. Maybe in a way, they've signed players. I guess the players just need to give the chairman something. It's up to the players now, really. We have been here before. Hopefully something will change. I really, for their sake, I hope that something will change, because you can't have, with due respect, this is a small team like Stellenbosch, Skukune, TS Galaxy playing in the top 8 and Chiefs is not there. It's just something which really I can't wrap my head around it. It's just,
if it's a small club, it's a small dog, but it's as big as Park. What? It's not their fault.
Yeah, and also if you are a big club, you must act big. You can't be a big club by name and then the performances
and not be toothless.
Yeah.
I think, Mina, this season, I beg to differ with one, how the fans are feeling with regards to the team ahead of the season, because yes, it's been a work in progress, and the main thing that has been the emphasis was that trust in the process, and the process yielded great results in terms of ending the 10-year drought, regardless of how it came about. And for me, personally, I feel like that's a success on its own when it comes to players now who broke barriers, who came in and became history makers, within that team, and no one had so much confidence and belief in them. And what can be done, or the best that can happen, I think copy and paste. Because sometimes I always say that ungabuka umakhelwane with only envy, but at the same time take notes, and things
be
that will
encouraged by the strides.
Be encouraged by the strides, and take notes as to how do I take whatever I'm seeing from that side, apply this side to build from what we have. Because right now we're seeing that you're talking about the acquisitions that the team had last season. Some of the players were the ones that won the Nedbank Cup. So now what you do is, this time around, give them the confidence to build as well. But on the other note, Malome, if I can move away a bit to one of our callers who was talking about the beloved team, Orbit FC. I think it's beautiful what we're witnessing there, what Coach Pochise has built there.
Welcome back to Power Sport Extra with BBK. I'm joined by my two brothers, Unjoma Neupepe, Nkuluma Ngobrighton Wakamhlongo, as well as Umatlatsi Mphahlele. What is your Chagazelo Mphahlele? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Let's go back to the lines. Let's go to Soweto and Shawelo, Khumutso, Potsotso. Welcome to Power Sport Extra. Matala, the gents are in the studio. They are listening. The platform is yours.
Matala, evening to you and the gents. I was nodding as much as Mahlatsi was nodding with Brighton's analysis. I was quite impressed.
Mm-hmm. What impressed you?
No, his breakdown of what Stellenbosch has been able to do with the various replacements as and when they go along selling their key players. So I was nodding at the depth of his information and knowledge as to who has done what and how so. But
before you go further, that is the reason why we select only the best to be able to be here and show you what we do, because we know that you are the best listener and we must dish out the best for you. Carry on, Matala.
Okay, thanks, my brother. I do want to say that I have not lost my optimism towards Chiefs. However, I am very cynical towards how they did business insofar as their goalkeeping department. One would say that the writing has been on the wall that we have not been able to command a dependable last line of defense for some time. There was a time where Riyad Peterson this goalkeeper of us, I could be calling a wrong name, but there were a couple of Brandon Peterson had a few games in which he actually launched an attack for the opposition, kicking the balls out very poorly, playing from the back and forgetting himself, and being technically very unaware of his positioning and the like. So I thought they were going to actually beef up the goalkeeping department because, I mean, this is the time that someone like Bruce Boomer was supposed to actually come to the party because he's been there for some time. It is understudy for some time. So one would have thought that they would have at least gone for somebody, seeing that he has not been that impressive. The less said about Jason Tuare, the better, you know. But so with infield players, well, I wouldn't want to say much because those are friendly games in Holland, and the week before last, it was the Toyota Cup. And let's see how it goes in actual matches. Football is a very psychological sport. Let's see how it goes in actual matches. But I also want to say, before I step out, that personally, I wouldn't like to see a situation where Chiefs isn't doing well and they're not doing anything with the technical team. Maybe the first 15 games, if signs are there that we are not going to show any improvement, let them go for Coach Peter. Remember when we had him in studio, Limme Moira, they actually dispelled the idea that he is too expensive. Yeah, they were not for it. So one would think that this being a local gig and obviously paying a reasonable salary, he would consider Kaizer Chiefs. So I'm hoping that whilst the team is in progress and if no signs of getting better than what we were last season still persist, then they would have to make a tough decision and bring it on board. Thanks, Matala.
I'll tell you one thing, Matala. The day I call Brighton and he's got a voice problem, I'm going to bring you in as a substitute.
Amazing
Enjoy
stuff.
your weekend,
Amazing
Matala.
stuff, man.
Let's go to Mamelodi. Mamelodi, Brajon, story, man. You've been holding for quite some time. Good evening and welcome to Power Sport Extra with BBK and Mahlatsi and Brighton.
Hey. I think you hear me being loud and clear.
We hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. For me, I've got a problem with Chiefs in terms of its international scouting process. You know, I don't want to look for a job for my countrymen, but you might find that a team like Scotland can actually attract, the best player from Zim, right? And whereas Chiefs, I don't know who scouts players, because if we can look at from last year or so, international players hasn't been actually doing well, right? But it shows is poor scouting, right? I don't know if we can actually recommend Chiefs, sometimes, because Chiefs it's a team that can be supported in Africa, So I don't know if we as supporters from these other countries, we need to recommend Chiefs, to take better players, because. And I also think that even my countrymen also probably who are scouting these players, probably they seem to have jealous, Because if I'm telling you right now, there's a winger there in Scotland, a very good creative winger, who can even score goals, right? But I know that Sundowns, if I can say the name Sundowns, will even go there now and sign that player.
All right.
About like 4 players that can come to Chiefs, and actually make a difference and even win the league with those 4 players.
You know
It's
what I'm
not
going to
wrong.
do, Brajon? I'm going to get Tabo to take your numbers so that I can send them to the sporting director, Chiefs Kaiser Mutawong Jr., to say that here is your hardcore fan. He's seen 4 good players that he believes must don the gold and black colors.
Yeah, you see, because they were talking about the Faisal Salum, and there's an attacking midfielder there who have scored a lot of goals, who's still banging goals right now, right? And then you can say that player cannot even come to Chiefs. So right now, I cannot say names of the players because I know Sundowns, they are listening.
Let's keep it a secret. We're going to take your numbers.
Yes.
Tabo is going to take the numbers. I'll forward them to Kaiser Jr. Thank you very much, Brajon, for coming through. Matlatsi?
Brajon is raising something that is very, very important.
And that is?
It's the issue of scouting. Chan is currently playing right now. I will be interested to find out how many South African teams are actually watching there, as scouting players there.
Yeah.
And these Chan players are players who, I don't want to say cheap, but are players that you can get them
at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
You can get them, bring them here, improve where you need to improve, have a good season, and send Europe with a lot of money. We really need to improve. Our clubs need to take this scouting thing very, very seriously. Or let's just forget Chan. Even here domestically.
I was going to say that before you go even far.
They don't scout. And logic says that players are there. You just need to go and find them, once in a while, a special talent comes out of nowhere, and everybody's running around and trying to sign that player. But really, a tournament like Chan, Kosafa, and you always find these hidden players. Sometimes a player that you find there is not a guy that you see now and then you sign now. It's a player that you find now, you are a little bit convinced, and then you spend the next 6-7 months monitoring, speaking to family, you do the right job. It's a process which is very tedious and costly, but if you do it right, you can strike gold because especially that West African region, there are a lot of players there.
For success, there are no shortcuts, and the man who's been holding for quite some time at Johannesburg, Pranduna. Good evening and welcome to Power Sport Extra with Brighton and Matlatsi and BBK. Nyapila Putunjanwan. Branduna?
Hello?
Yes,
how are you, BBK?
Black and proud, Matala. How are you? Brighton and Matlatsi are listening.
How was the other chance today?
We all good. We are blessed. Thank you. How are you?
Sure.
And happy birthday to Magogo and your son.
Thank you very much, Branduna. I almost said same to you.
And happy Women's Day tomorrow to all the women.
Indeed, my brother.
Thank you. BBK, ngifuna nje ukutshela ukuthi Pirates will win the league.
Kanjani?
Sundowns will be number 2. Number 3 will be Sekhukhune. Number 4 will be Kaizer Chiefs.
Motivate.
I think Pirates fought well. Yeah, and ngibone negame yabo ngesikhathi bese-Spain.
Yes.
I think I liked what I saw. And MCN, I think I like what I've seen so far. And the depth, the Pirates, they have depth. They have a lot of quality. I think they will challenge Sundowns.
And you say
right?
Sekhukhune are going to be number 3?
Yes.
Tell me more.
I think they also fought well. And I saw their game also. I was impressed. I think Sinclair fought well. They have quality as well and they have depth as well.
Yeah.
But I think they have too many players and maybe they will let some go. Yeah. Then my team, Kaizer Chiefs,
number 4, you say?
Number 4, I'm saying yes.
The guys are saying that you did not buy one area which is critical, where the club has given a lot of goalkeepers to South Africa. Yeah. Are you not concerned about that, Nduna?
I am very concerned. Very, very concerned.
So how are you going to get to number 4 when the goals are going to be leaking in?
I think this guy who's the current number 1 so far, I think he's not that bad.
Ukhomutso was saying that he was helping, what did he say? He was assisting goals for the opposition.
Yeah, I done my mistakes, Shemaye. I was hoping we'll go for Stanley Nwavali,
Yeah.
but no, it did not happen.
Let's hear the view of Brighton because he's a former goalkeeper. What say you,
Yeah.
Njoman?
Look, I think, to be quite honest, and this would be my assessment for throughout this season, what I've picked up is that when goalkeeping is a very specialized position, right? And it goes with the confidence that you're given time and time again. Sipho Chain, he came in, and when he came in, he was given the confidence. And when we talk about the confidence, we're talking about the ability to make those, the ability for you to play and be expressive without anyone holding the gun to your head to say if he makes a mistake, he's out. So the issue for me was consistency and continuity within the team.
Yeah.
When you can see, if you can realize within the season of Kaizer Chiefs, every time it was a rotational that were forced based on errors and based on now a whole lot of people saying what they had to say.
And that does not give the Glovman.
It doesn't give the Glovman, it doesn't give the coach also, because now when he gives you the nod to start, it's more of let's see how BBK is going to play, let's see how Mahlatsi is going to play.
Yeah.
The positives, however, that I'll take is that bold move, Nedbank Cup final, coach dropping Bruce for Brendan, getting the result. After that, coach stuck with his guns to say, my first choice will be Brendan. Now build on from that. Give him the confidence, because the issue is now having this thing of, I don't have a number one. Believe you me, when I say that, it destabilizes the department, because you are playing thinking, do I own this slot? Do I build on from every performance? When do I build the confidence? But also the team cohesion. It becomes very critical, because now the back line, which is the most critical position, you need to get used to playing with that back four of yours. You need to build the confidence. We need to be in a situation where there's synergies around you guys, communication lines, the confidence. When BBK is having a rather relatively backed game, that's when the back four comes in to back you up, to support you. But now with Chiefs, what we've realized was that it was a case of we don't know who might start the next game. Ntwari or Bruce or Brendan. So now build from what you have, then we can take it from there.
I like the fact that you use me as an example, because in my playing days I was a goalkeeper, and then I stopped playing when my doctor told me that I had a recurring hamstring injury on my neck.
Hey,
let's get some voice notes. Let's get some voice notes, please.
Hey, how's it, BBK? How's it, BBK? Papa Wemba here.
Matala?
Yeah, sweet and short. I think I'm a Sundowns fan. We should win the league, but I think this year's is Pirates League to lose.
All.
Good evening, BBK, hot man. Happy birthday to your mother. She indeed brought us a giant in the world of sports. Hi, Kabelo can go and wash your car for his birthday. Deal with the mother, brother. Thank you.
Matala, thank you very much.
BBK, good evening, my brother. Sundowns are trimming their squad left, right, and center, and they we don't know if they're still going to have Shalulile, Ribeiro, and Mojau. So, those are two powerful players. I don't see them doing very well in the Premiership and all competitions this season. They might even win one. So, Moses Mukwena Hamukokoila. Thank you.
Thank you, Moss. You know what?
Mr. BBK.
Yes, sir.
And your guest, my wish for the upcoming PSL Betway season is that may all clubs be balanced. Let's not have one club having all the best players. It turns out to be a farmers league. Please, Buffett, please. No wonder but Tobang the team but well. Please.
We don't want a one-horse race, gents. We don't want a Bundesliga.
Yeah, man. It goes with what Bramahlat was saying and Brajon also, because when it comes to recruitment policy, scouting, there has to be synergies. Again, I go back to the point that I made with Stellenbosch. Synergies, what are we looking for? Number one, where are we looking at? How are we getting that player? And what's the contribution to the masses, which is now the club and the true custodians of the game, the fans? Once you start understanding that, and you look at how Orlando Pirates, now people are saying they went into the business very good. They went into the business because now they also understood the synergies of what we are looking for from development. And you look at the players that are going to come in and hit the ground running. And not only that, even Mamelodi Sundowns, all the players that they are getting, Manum BBK, if you can look at it, Pramatlati, Obas was a relatively, probably one would say with all due respect, an average player to some fans when he was at TS Galaxy. He was not a front page player, but he got to Mamelodi Sundowns and he showed his class as well. He got to Bafana, he showed his class. So most of these players, they were playing for all these so-called relatively small teams. But now, because Sundowns knew the personnel that they're looking for, that's going to fit into the philosophy and the Shushan and piano methodology, that's why they went in and the scouting, which has synergies within the club. That's what helped the team. So if we can bring it back to our teams, focus on the synergies, development, scouting process, and recruitment, then it's going to be easier for the technical team, because don't scout a player only to find that a particular coach doesn't know the player or doesn't like the player, and obviously he's not going to use him.
When I coached him in the Sunday Times First 11 team, I called him Tlatsiltinho.
Yeah.
What say you, Tlatsiltinho?
Yeah, once again, I agree with Brighton. You must find the players, you must do scouting and all the other stuff. And the other important thing is coaching. Because players must be coached. I always give an example with Monapule Saleng when Jose Rivero went to Pirates.
Yes.
Saleng was just a player who's busy, but he never really understood
direction.
his game. But he was coached. Even as Mahopa is another one. Obas, Sundowns, Grankekan. There's a lot of players who went to Sundowns the late stages of Coach Pitso, and then with the Coach Vulani.
Yeah.
They were coached and they were turned into very, very, very good players. From, if you can
Totally
say,
agree.
maybe they were average players. So
Yeah.
there must still be an element of coaching at these clubs, because some of the clubs do have coaches, but not quite, guys who know how to elevate a player from an average player into a world-class footballer. And that is another very, very important element that our clubs sometimes maybe don't have. You really, really need a coach to turn players around.
Most definitely. Let's go back to the lines. Ekoli Kwandonga Ziatuma Umpo is on the line. Mpoza, good evening. Welcome to Power Sport Extra with Brighton and Matlati and BBK.
Grootman, good evening. Happy birthday, Ekaya, Guma, the young man, Yanjonga Washilo, Manawashimoto Bandaganje. Uta Brighton, sisazo discuss le goalkeeper of the season. Mabuchi Pezes usanama complain.
So long is.
Look, I think having looked, and I'll stick to the squads. And this is why I say, if you look at the semi-finalist of the current competition being the MTN 8, that's our top four at the end of the season. Because, yes, Modau may not be playing at Sundowns. Shalulile did not play much in terms of last season, if we are being honest. Ribeiro, it's if he goes. But Sundowns have shown that they can still be able to play without him. And 9 out of 10 is that they will go out and buy somebody who can be able to bang in the goals and plugs into a system that is working. Their business model of scouting well and buying well, that works for them. And then you've got a team like Orlando Pirates, which has gone into the market and said, we're going to, one, go and buy players that have got a proven track record like Ndulu from Stellenbosch.
Right.
Because when you look at him, it's not just local experience. He got to the semi-final of the Confed Cup in continental football. You look at Sipo. Sipo is a footballer. He just needs to get his act right, but nobody ever questions his playing.
Sure.
Apollo is an international, and he's proven that his money's worth. So Pirates have gone well, but there's something that Pirates have done in the last seasons. When last season started, did we know of Mbogas? When last season started, did we know of Nkota? So the belief of the talent that's coming, the Sasanis that are there, Pirates have said we will get from our DDC. A DDC becomes a very important tool in terms of developing players and a mixture of buying right. So the club from buying and being able to bring from DDC has done well. And that's number 1 and 2 that have beefed up and said we are going for this title. And I think Pirates may close the gap this season on Mamelodi Sundowns, but what belongs to Caesar shall not be taken away from Caesar. And then last two. Skukune always buys well. You look at the likes of Grobler having joined Skukune, and you look at the likes of Miguel Team. There's a lot of experienced players, and he's finding the likes of Lindam Tambo that are there. And last but not least, Devin Titus is going to rule Stellenbosch. And I think this season you're going to see the likes of Bant coming into their being, because now he's settled where he is. And you still got Mojela, who's still at Stellenbosch. That's my top four. Utando, can they fight for top 8? Because Mount Molotov is not even in the top 8. What is not convincing.
Thank you very much for the gift of your gap. Let's go to Alex Brajetro. Good evening and welcome to Power Sport Extra. Matala? Oh no, we're going to go back to the calls there. Mahlatsi, Mpo makes a point about Sikukune. He makes a point about Sikukune and the way that they've bought, and they've been one of the busiest teams in the off-season. And he says his top 4 looks like what we have in the MTN 8 semi-finals.
Yeah, I think there may be a level of, foresightedness there from Poza. There's something that is happening in our football that Stellenbosch get praised a lot for the way they do things and that kind of stuff, which is correct because that's what they're doing. But I don't think we give Skukune enough credit. They've came into a new league as a new club, and they're up there. Not so long ago, they were in the Comfort Cup. Football being a game of small margins, they could have qualified for the Comfort Cup again this season. It was just 1 point.
But could have, should have, has no room in football, as you well know.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that they've been competitive. Yes. It's not a team that are always there in the relegation, and the only thing which has surprised me a little bit from this season is that I felt they've bought too many players. I don't think it's correct that you finish 4th, you are competitive, you are settled, then you go buy 17 players. I mean, it's too much.
So it becomes a transition season.
Yeah, whatever the number
again.
of players that they've signed, it becomes a bit too much. I hope the coach will be able to manage that situation. But they are a team that must be taken seriously because they are always competitive, and it's very, very difficult to beat them. It's a pity the area where the chairman comes from there in Limpopo, there's no stadium there. If there was a stadium there, I think they will throw big crowds there, and they will really, really establish something very nice there. But they're a team that I really like because they're also doing the right things.
Watch out for Sikukune, says Mahlatsi there. Let's go to Lyndhurst and welcome LG. Good evening, Matala.
Good evening, sir.
Are you well?
I'm good. I don't know if am I audible enough?
Yes, you are.
We can hear you, sir. Carry on. All right.
Yeah. Please don't ask me to motivate you, but I'm going to tell you that Orlando Pirates, the Buccaneers, the Ghosts are going to be the winners of this Champions League this season. They're not only going to win the PSL that way, they're going to win the Champions League in the continent.
Now that you've asked me not to ask you to motivate, now that you've said they're going to win both, I'm asking you, why do you believe so?
Last week I was listening to this guy on a certain podcast. I'm not going to name the podcast, but the guy is a Murud. He's he's the type of a Shiri kind of a guy. So he was saying that, you know what, I think Orlando Pirates. In fact, he did not say I think, because he's a prophet. He said Pirates are going to win the Champions League before anybody else wins it in South Africa. You understand? So based on that, I can tell you now, I don't have doubts that Pirates are going to win the Betway and therefore the Champions League.
But
I hear people saying that Pirates.
If you say he's a Bushiri type of guy, is that not a false prophecy?
No, that's another story. But I have the guy confidently saying that Pirates is going to win. And before Pirates wins the second star, there's no any other team that's going to win the second star in South Africa. So, that's my motivation. And the other thing that I wanted to say that I had Mahlatsi struggling to say that he's a Mohanga, and it took Benson Mhlongo to remind him that he's a Lepara. So
Ah,
I was surprised because I mean, Mhlongo being a Zulu guy knowing better than a guy that's supposed to know better about his own, totemism and whatnot.
No.
But anyway,
No,
that is on a lighter
okay,
note. That's on a lighter note.
All right. Thank you very much for
thank
coming
you.
through, Matala. Let's go to Pretoria and take Mutlomi. Good evening. Please, Matala, your platform is yours. The gents
How
are
are you,
listening.
sir?
We're good and you.
Tate BBK, Tate Brighton, Tate Mahlati.
Good evening.
How are you, sir? Just to comment, Tate Brighton, I saw you there at Park Stadium yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm also a student as well. I'm also a young player. But in regards to the development of young players, especially when we talk about, let's talk about the ABC League in Gauteng. I don't know who made the comment of there's not enough investment or time taken into scouting the quality we have. And I'm talking specifically in our provincial league, this one of Gauteng. There is a lot of talent, but I do not think that clubs go the full length to really invest into these players, because even most of the players that play Varsity Cup, they come from around, specifically the Gauteng institutions, TUT, VET, TAX. Some of them, they're NFD players, some of them, they are, ABC players. But because, when you play Varsity Cup, you're kind of combined with everyone, a lot of players. You don't really see players for who they are in the system they are. So I was just saying that why isn't it lost? Why don't clubs, go this route? Is it because it takes too much money to invest to go scout these players, or what is it?
Thank you very much, there, Mutlomi. And the Prampo in Brandfontein, you take the last bite of this cherry. Give us your word. The platform is yours.
No, thank you very much, my brother, and thank you very much to your guest. Maybe just to take care from the last guy who spoke before me.
Yes.
I really want to make a follow-up on that discussion of how we have to support the smaller leagues and the lower leagues. So Benson, if I will share the number with you, just to see how we can support. I happen to be in the Department of Sports in Gauteng, and part of our discussion was about how the department comes in to assist grow the sport and keep Gauteng as a home of champions. But maybe the point I wanted to make before that guy was that, in as much as people ridicule Kaizer Chiefs, there is a need to say we have a best league, and this league has produced almost 3 teams to be representing continental competitions. And I think we should get more, that we should push Chiefs to rise to the occasion. And I get a sense that in as much as we are critical, I suspect they will show off something. Of course, once and always, Orlando Pirates must make it. That's my stand. But we should push that Chiefs must also compete. It's a big team.
Yeah.
And it must come to board this time around.
All right, Prampo, please stay on the line because I want to take you up on that thing that you're talking about, what we do in terms of development. Thabo is going to take your details and I'm going to get in touch with you. Gentlemen, time runs out when you're having fun. We are eating up into the women football segment here, but I've got David M. Sileka on Twitter saying and instructing me that BBK, your guests must not leave without predicting the league top 3 and the relegation candidates. Fire away, Mahlatsi. Your league top 3?
It's a difficult one, but I strongly feel Sundowns will be strong again.
So Sundowns champions.
Yeah, and I've just a short motivation. I hear a lot of people talking about the fact that Ribeiro may go.
Mudau, Shalulile, Mayema.
You must remember, if Mudau leaves, they still have got Tapelo Morano can give them a season. If Ribeiro leaves, they still have got Temba and Jaden there. Salas is coming through very nicely for Sundowns. And Peter didn't play much last season. So that's the thing. Pirates, I think they'll finish second. They bought well, but if you look at history, right, there's a number of players that goes to Pirates and just the jersey becomes a little bit too heavy for them, and they don't live up to expectations. But I'm very, very happy with Apolis. He will add a lot of value for the team. That Mariko guy, he's a top player. I think he will give them something. Mbule, if he stays in it straight and narrow, he will give them something. He's an exceptional footballer. The coach, I like the coach. He's young, he's fresh. He'll come up with something different.
Yeah.
I'll say Pirates will finish second. Third, I'll go with Stellenbosch for third. Yeah.
And your relegation candidates quickly? No motivation.
Yes, really.
I think I'll just swap 1 and 2. I'm very much confident with Orlando Pirates for those reasons that you've added.
Yes.
But apart from your Mbules that you're looking at, there's quite exciting young blood. Kwaiba, the tried and tested of players. Nemtajela coming in, exciting. Sibelebele, we saw what he did with TS Galaxy. I think there's excitement there. Mbutuma was going to push the strikers as well. So it's quite exciting to see what Orlando Pirates is building and going back to that process of now using speed and wing play, which is always been the style of Pirates.
Downs,
that would be
Pirates 1, Downs 2. Who's your third?
I'll still go back to Stellenbosch.
Stellis.
Yeah.
You're like a 10. Gentlemen, and your relegation candidate? In 2 seconds. 1.
In 2 seconds,
2.
I'm sorry to say this, but I feel like
3.
Marumo would be 1 for me.
Marumo will gallantly be relegated according to Brighton Mhlongo. Gentlemen, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for your time. This is not going to be the last of our conversations. Intermittently, during the course of the season, we shall call you back to be able to chew card with our listeners. And thank you very much, all of you, for being a great sport and participating in this conversation. Good luck to your team. And we will call this gentleman on the last day of the league to make sure we review
to account
what we did.
Ask our coach.